For datasets where we have tons and tons of rows and multiple columns with different categorical data, there may be a time where we want to split the data into groups and then calculate some type of statistic. For those of you sitting at home wondering if Pandas has an answer for how to do this, wonder no more. Introducing the Groupby method. The Groupby method creates groupings based on columns. We can call it directly on a data frame, passing in a column name to the parentheses. What's unique about this method is that it creates a Groupby object that is different than a normal Pandas data frame object. To show you what I mean, let's use the season ID column in our original data frame. So if we run df Groupby method, and in it we are going to call the season ID, and let's run this so I can show you what I'm talking about. Here we have an object, and if we actually take the type of that, it will be a little bit more descriptive. And if we just took the type of the data frame, notice how the data frame has some extra text that says it is a Groupby object. What's happening is Pandas is looping through the data frame and grouping all the season IDs together into some type of container data frame that is a new Groupby object. This new object isn't very useful until we do something with it. As you may have guessed, we can call some specific methods on Groupby objects, and it's actually a much more effective way to run operators on that than a filter data frame. Let's use our season total stats from the previous lecture and save it to a new data frame to look at team data with some specific methods we can run. Let's group by team and get the mean for the age column. To run this on only one column, we pass the column name into the square brackets. So here we're taking df2 and the Groupby method, and we're going to group it by the team column. Again, let's save it to a variable grouped. And now on grouped, again, which is that Groupby object, we can then get the age column, get the mean of that one, and then sort the values in descending order, which means ascending equals false. Awesome. So this is now grouped by team, and then we took the mean age for each of them and sorted the values. So this is the last year LeBron was on Cleveland, and we see they are the average, have the highest average age for anyone in the league that year, whereas Portland just edged out Phoenix for the youngest average age that season. We can also get info on the specific groupings. So for example, if we wanted to get a specific team from the grouped object, we can call the getGroup method. So still looking at this grouped object, let's call the getGroup method and get the LA Lakers. And let's save this into a variable. And if we print it, now we have a data frame with just the LA Lakers team. So let's actually jump back to this original data frame, which is df, and group by season IDs. So df group by season ID, and let's just save this as seasons. And again, to get a specific method on it, we'll look at one column, the points, and let's get the sum for each year. And this is going to be the total. So we see teams are scoring more over time. That's an interesting trend in the NBA, and one I would say akin to the increase in three-point shooting. Now we can also call two columns rather than just the points. What if we wanted to also get the assists on the sum? So now it gives us two rows, the points and the assists. The group by method follows a split, apply, combine framework. What this means is that we will split the data into groups based on some criteria, apply a function or a method to each group. In this case, we were getting the sum, and combine the results into a new object. We can use the same describe method for our Dataframe Groupby objects just like we did with our data frames, and it will return summary stats for each numeric column, but broken out for each group we split on, which in this case is the seasons. So again, if we look at the type of our seasons object, we'll see it's a grouped data frame. And this is really, again, if we're going back to the split, what was happening in the split was when we were saying the df group by season ID and saving this to seasons. I'm not going to run this, but that was the split. And now the apply was happening if we want to get the seasons. Let's get the, again, that hypothesis that the 3-point field goal is made, and we can describe it. And here on average, people are making more per game. And if we wanted to combine it, we could say df 3 points by season equals and again we see more 3-point shooting now than in the 80, 90 or 98, 99 season. It looks like it's been a pretty steady increase, although jumping up these past 2 seasons. The last functionality I want to look at is the ag method, which is really aggregation, and it helps us to perform different operations on different columns. So we could get the mean of one column and the sum of the other. This method expects a Python dictionary with column names as the keys and operators as the value. So if we took our seasons object, and then let's create that Python dictionary and tell it the points we want to sum, and then the assists we want the mean. And if we run this, we will get the sum of points scored and then the average mean of assists.